Hello and welcome to Authentic Conversations Emoji. It's Christmas week. What an amazing time we live in. So today is, I don't know what date, but bottom line is it's a few days before Christmas in 2021. I am full of gratitude. It's been a very, very busy month for me. Last week, I apologize. I was supposed to be here, but I was at an airport. I couldn't do the show from the airport, so sorry, we didn't show up. But my name is Mojisola Wilson. I'm a certified life coach and inclusion and diversity specialist, and I am also a New York State real estate broker who happens to design accessories, Shuku accessories. But we've been on this journey. You guys have been on this journey with me, what I call the journey to self, right? So do me a favor and share the video, first of all. And if anybody would like to join me on stage, I put the link to come behind back end so that I can bring you up on screen. So anyways, back to the topic. You guys have been on this amazing journey with me from like 2009, before live, where I used to write up all these stories. People would tell me to go write a book, but I had dyslexia. I have dyslexia, so I wasn't going to write a book. And then you saw me come out in public and admit to my authentic self. Then you saw me start new businesses and all that stuff. But it's been an incredible journey. So, yeah, it's been an amazing journey and it's still unfolding. We're always on a journey to self. We're always learning something new, unlearning something new. I mean, old. And in order to be our best self, the best version of ourselves is truly, really what we're looking for, right? Hi, Angela, how are you? I'm glad you could be here. If anybody wants to come backstage or come on screen with me, all you have to do is click on that link and come to the back end, and I will bring you up on stage. It's a lot more fun. I've been on, I'm on Clubhouse on Thursdays at 2, Sundays at 10:30. And it's so much fun because I get to hear people's voice and their emotions and things like that. It's anyways. So on this journey, because I figure, look, a lot of us are getting like older, and for you young people too, you really truly want to find your authentic self. So it doesn't take you 40 years. You know that prayer I always do? May the journey of 10 days not become 40 years. So while you guys are sharing the video for me and inviting your friends to join the party, because that's what it is. It's really group therapy, but I'm not a therapist, so I have to disclose that. All I can do is share my journey with you, what I did, and hopefully it works for you. And let's see, I better get my glasses because I'm always trying. Hey, it's good to see you, Olufisola. Long time no see. Welcome. So while I am doing the back end stuff, why don't you guys go ahead and share the video for me? If you're on YouTube or my public page, or my personal page, please do say hi to me so I know that you're there. In the meantime, sit tight and let's do this, right? Let's do this. So I guys remember that last week or 2 weeks ago now, my apologies, I didn't come back last week. I was so busy. I'm so sorry. 2 weeks ago, we started a book called The Journey to Self. Did anybody buy it yet? Did you guys go out and buy it so we could talk about it? Right? And the book, when I first read it, I bought the book because somebody said, you actually, I met the author and she's like, oh, I have this book. And she sent me a little bit of it. And I fell in love with it. Oh my God. It spoke to my soul. It spoke to a lot of my pain and my hurts. And I thought, you know what? We sit here, we shoot breeze. We talk about a lot of stuff. We gossip. We talk about healing. We talk about kids. How about we start to do things that helps us to get to our promised land, right? So that's why I figure we should do this book. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about the journey to self. We talked about healing. We talked about facing our fears, understanding who we are. Can you guys hold on one second? Can you help me take off the thing so it doesn't go off every 5 seconds? Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. And if you know me, you know I'm not that technical. technical savvy, but I'm grateful to have an amazing wife that is. So anyways, so 2 weeks ago, we read the excerpts, chapter 1 and chapter 2. The beautiful thing about this particular book, and again, I'm not getting paid anything for what I bring to you, just so you know, so far I have not monetized anything on social media because I believe my voice stays authentic if I do that. But the book, I like it because it's a workbook. It's like it starts, if you buy the book today, when you get it, read the first preface and all that stuff, but do me a favor and wait till January 1st. Then you use that one chapter for the whole of January, and you'll practice what tools the book gives you for the whole month of January. It's so cool. I read it twice. And then I sent it to a friend of mine, and she's like, oh my God, this book is amazing. I said, you know what? I have to bring it to you guys because, we're cool like that, right? So while my wife is Margaret is trying to sort the thing out for me, because I got the author of the book. She doesn't even have audiobooks, but I was able to convince her. That's because I'm a great salesperson, right? So I was able to convince her to do excerpts for me, to just send me voice notes, and she did. But you guys, I'm telling you, you're going to love this. So please ping in your friends. There's no point. Look, if I'm the only one that's healing or on a journey to self, and all my friends are just eating akara and begiri and amala, it's not going to work. So you need to share this information with other people, because the more of us that heal, the better children we'll raise, the better partners will be attracted to us, the better partners we will choose, the happier we'll be, the lighter we'll be. And I'm telling you, I'm 57 years old. This is the best time of my life, because I'm able to walk in my authentic skin because of all the work that I've done in the past that brought me here. And I'm still the third one. And I'm still healing. So we're going to start with the first excerpt. We're almost there. And then we'll go, after we do the excerpt, I want one or two of you guys to come backstage. There's a link there. Come backstage with me, click on it, so we can have a real conversation, right? And I'm telling you, when you listen to this excerpt and you hear, it's like, whoa, I always knew this. But for some reason, when you hear from somebody else, or when the pieces tied together with stories, right? It's freaking amazing. It's like, whoa, the light bulb goes off. But it's about practicing what you learn, practicing what you hear. It's not just about reading the book. The book, Olufisola, is called The Healing Journey by Rosena Bakari. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it from pretty much anywhere they sell books. I'm going to post the picture of the book. It's a blue book. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. So while we're waiting for technical difficulties, share the video for me, ping in your friends, and let's see what the story is. Can I go? Not yet. Okay. So for a lot of you guys that are new, if you're new on my page, you already know I'm very transparent. The new word now is vulnerable. That's not me. I'm just very transparent because, after who I am, what I am. Pardon? Okay. For so very long, right? I to be hiding and playing games with people. You're gonna get it straight up. I'm all about excellence. Where's it gonna come out? It's okay. So I'm all about excellence. I'm all about, the best version of you. I don't want you to become a doctor or a lawyer. I want you to become whatever you want to become. If you want to be a Yashukra, be it. If you want to be me that owns cows while my friends are like buying Louis Vuitton, be it. If you want to be a toilet cleaner, just be the best toilet cleaner there is and be happy, because life is so short, right? And if you're not living your best life, then you're just living somebody else's life. All right, so here we go. The Winchies don't like it when I'm trying to do something that's going to change people's mindset, right? So just bear with me one second. We're almost there. Well, if you get a glass of wine, it's 4 o'clock here.
March. How to build relationships when you don't.
All right, so we're all set. I hope you have your pen and your paper, and this is going to be a lot of fun. What I'll do is I'll do 3 minutes or 2 minutes, and then I'll come back to it. Um, can you open up my private page for public consumption? Okay, here we go. Thank you. See you soon.
March. How to build relationships when you don't trust people. We love comeback stories. We get inspiration from those who beat the odds. Our motivation comes from people who continued their efforts in the face of likely failure. We realize the challenge of turning a ship around. Sure enough, turning mistrust into trust is no small feat. The level of trust we employ to navigate the world is related to early feedback in our childhood environment. Several theories tell us that trust is the cornerstone of quality child rearing. Children rely on us to guide and rescue them when needed. Between adults and children remains intact, children are likely to develop into healthy adults. Unfortunately, research on adverse childhood experiences shows that more than 20% of the population has at least one childhood circumstance that may have compromised the quality of a caring they receive. The list of common negative childhood experiences includes having a household member with mental illness, criminal activity, or addiction to drugs. Of course, a child's victim of emotional, physical, or sexual abuse is also a significant disruption in normal development. Good experiences may make negotiating relationships in adulthood difficult. For example, children raised in high conflict homes may not trust their ability to resolve conflict as adults. A child of divorced parents may develop abandonment issues. Neither of the above situations involves intentional harming of the child, yet the consequences are lasting. As social creatures born at the mercy of adults who are supposed to care for us, trust or mistrust is a function of child development. As children, we learn to trust adults before we learn to trust ourselves. When adults respond to children with kindness, care, and safety, they know we have given the appropriate signals. This caring exchange of message and response is how we learn to trust ourselves. As we develop trust with ourselves, we learn to create boundaries and value the boundaries of others. We allow for disappointment in relationships and use healthy communication to resolve conflict. When all goes well during childhood development, we use relationships to express joy, not create it. On the other hand, we enter the school of hard knocks when, as adults, we unconsciously rely on relationships to fill in the gaps of our childhood emotional needs. Rather than experiencing people authentically, we try to predict who can fulfill particular roles for us, and relationships end before they begin. Trusting ourselves allow us to make decisions about relationships based on who people are rather than who we want them to be. If everyone behaved as we thought they should, we would not need boundaries. We wouldn't have to choose who to share life with or how because everything would work out. At the mercy of adults, children need to behave to be safe. Adults, on the other hand, need to enforce boundaries to be safe. Adults are only at the mercy of those to whom they give their power. If we give away power, we will feel like victims. The key to not feeling like a victim is to take responsibility for keeping our power. Quality relationships tend to form slowly. People who value themselves tend to create boundaries that take a while to get through. They also respect the boundaries of others. They do not seek fast relationships. Beware of relationships that develop suddenly. If a relationship feels too good to be true, it probably is. If we can't see the slightest flaws, the person may be hiding them for good reason.
So, the first excerpt that were the little piece of snippet that we're reading, I'm always taking notes. I can't help myself. So he says, a lot of the trauma that we experience as children bleeds into our lives as adults. I mean, everybody knows that. It's not great. Like I said, it doesn't get it, right? It's just that sometimes when you hear it in a language that you can understand, then it makes a lot of sense. But she talks about, Rosena Bakari talks about creating boundaries for children and creating boundaries for other adults in our lives as well. She talks about the fact that a lot of times that we get up, I'm so guilty for that. A lot of times that I get upset with people, it's because I allow them to overstep their boundaries, or I didn't really have boundaries. I talk a lot about the 419ers and things like that. Why did I even entertain them? I've been, if you've been 419 one or two or three times by people, by now you should put up a wall, but no, not me. And that's because, look, no excuses. Bottom line is, yeah, she's right. We all have to start to create boundaries. We have to start to value ourselves, and we have to create boundaries for our children as well. I'm going to do a children's series in a couple of weeks because, honey, I can't even tell you what I've been through in the past few weeks. But Rosena Bakari talks about the healing journey as a lifelong. It's not something that you read a book today and poof, it's magic. It's like working out. It's like trying to get a nice body or a six pack. You must do the work. You must go within and dig deep to try and find out where the bridge is broken. If you can't fix the bridge, put a plank over it so you can walk over it, or figure out a way to jump in the water, swim across the lake to the other side. But we can't be stagnant in our pain. So she talks about building boundaries. She talks about not making friendships that are very quick. People come into my life and I'm like, oh, they're amazing. I don't use that word anymore. I've known Angela Oliver almost 5 years now, or 6 years, or even 6 years, or something like that now. And we have a friendship, off the internet. We talk to each other. If she sends me clients, I send her, questions about cities and things like that. But it's a network. It's a network. You build relationships. You don't go from 0 to 1,000 in one day. And then because people don't really show you who they are until much later, right? And look, this divorced parents thing, people need to stop using it as an excuse, because almost 50% of the people I know have been divorced or are going through a divorce or will be divorced. So divorce is a normal thing. It's just that we have to start from early on to prepare ourselves and the children in case divorce happens. Because you can't, we're living in, well, I beg, we're living in a world right now where you look at your children the wrong way. Just, my oh my God, my dad would look at me and I knew exactly what he was saying. Because now it's called, you're traumatizing the children. Can you imagine? It's like, my father used to beat me with koboko. He would tell me to go and pick up my own switch from the backyard. You have a choice, koboko or the stick. I'm sure you guys remember those days, but we can't do that anymore. So we're having to really get in tune with our own traumas so we don't continue to pass it on. People talk about generational wealth. Honey, there's generational pain, there's generational curses, because a lot of us are not admitting that we're broken. We're not admitting that there's something wrong. And we're not admitting that we can do better. As parents, if you're a single parent, you already know. Half the time we're yelling. I mean, I'm no longer a single parent, thank God. I've been married for 5 years now, and to an amazing woman that's helping me raise this crazy people. I call them crazy. Everybody in my eyes, we all creating us. And let me tell you, it's one of the most incredible journeys that I've been on, because I thought raising children was like so cool. I mean, Olufisola, they don't give us instructions when these kids pop out. Just give you the kid. I mean, before you drive a car, right? You have to take a written test. Then you have to take a 5-hour class that shows you all kind of gruesome accidents, right? And then you have to go and take a driver's test. Actually drive for a while, But anybody can have kids. Anybody. I can decide to have a child today. Well, maybe not because I'm 57. But seriously, I mean, I decided at 26 I wanted a child. Boom. 9 months later, I went into labor. 12 hours later, they give me the kid to take home. I'm like, what do I do now? And every book I read, promise you, I really promise you, every book I read that says, if they do this, you do that. It's a lie. Because each child is different. So we truly have to learn. I know, right? Each child is different. And then the whole world is just crazy these days. There's so much going on. The world is changing. You can't even speak the truth anymore because they want you to live in false reality, right? You can't, if I get upset with, if a white person gets upset with me because I'm just being a nasty person that day, oh my God, it's racism. No, it's because I was a mean person that day. Everything is not about racism. Everything is not about homophobia. You might just not be a nice person. It took me a long time to get here. See, this book called The Healing Journey, when you go on the journey to self, and you start to really like yourself, and you start to heal, you start to like yourself, you start to respect yourself, it bleeds into others. This is where diversity and inclusion starts to come in, because all of a sudden I'm thinking, wait, if I want straight people to respect me and respect my views on things, then I have to respect their views. I don't have to like it. As long as they're not harming me, you can believe anything you want to believe. You could be anything you want to believe. Be. Just respect my life choices. That's it. Respect my identity, respect who I am. You want me to call you a chair, I'm gonna call you a chair. But when I tell you that I'm a cis woman, you must call me a cis woman. And when I tell you I'm a lesbian, you must respect the fact that I'm a lesbian, even if I don't care what you do. I just want you to be who you are, so just let me be who I am. And we have to start to have the courage, because the more we heal, the more we like ourselves, the more we love ourselves, the more we're able to love other people. So when we talk about childhood traumas, a lot of us have not gone deep. We haven't really gone deep to find out what the heck is going on with us. And once we do that, I just think that you start to respect people. You don't expect people to like call you every day because you're friends. You understand this woman has her own life, and you don't no longer. I had to learn that. And honey, the hardest lesson for me was to recognize the noise and the people in my corner. They're two different people. Because, when you do what I do, you get a lot of applause, you get a lot of likes, you get a lot of this, and then you get addicted to those likes. But the people that really care for you will show up. They'll be there at all times. The difference between the noisemakers and the people that are there for you is that when you need them, they're always there. And they know when to be, right? I'm telling you, when you start to go on a journey to self, this book, you must read it. You must read it. You must give it to your kids. I bought books for everybody this Christmas. Nobody's getting Jagbajansis. Everybody's getting books from me this Christmas. Because look, I cannot be the only person that's on a healing journey. We are all going to be going on this healing journey, my daughters. But what else can I touch on this one? We talked about the fact that building relationships, you have to take your time building relationships. Yes, you do. And everybody is not going to be riding with you. You have to give people room to just be exactly who they are. But you will not find out who they are, right, until you give them time to show you who they are. Do me a favor, though. When they show you who they are, please, in the name of God, believe it. And I'm not saying you can't be friends with a lot of people. You can be acquaintances with a lot of people, but know that everybody does not deserve your loyalty. Everybody does not deserve your friendship, but everybody deserves your compassion, your empathy, and your respect. But you have to give it to yourself first to be able to give it to other people, right? I'm just loving this book. I'm telling you, there's 5 excerpts. And I hope you guys buy the book so that by the time we get into January, we can go back and do the work. We'll work through the January piece, right? It's really cool. Angela Oliver says you also have to be aware of who you want them to be and who they are. Shuku to you, Angela. Yes, you do. Key thing is actually you need to allow them to be who they are and not who you want them to be. Emoji struggled with because I'll meet somebody and I'll be like, oh my God, what do you do? Oh, you should do it this way, you should do it that way. You should I once had a friend who was cutting hair in her room, one bedroom apartment, cutting hair in the living room. And then we met and I'm like, oh my God, you open up a shop. Guess what Muji did? I did it. Open up a whole shop on the 20th floor in Atlantic City with a, panoramic view, 2,000 square foot. The girl had no idea how to run a business. She was perfectly happy doing what she was doing. Of course, everything went kaput. That's not what her vision was. So we have to allow, yes, Angela, we have to allow people to be who they are. Good afternoon, oh God, I can't speak today. So forgive me. Maybe it's a little Moscato. Maybe it'll help me out a little. Hi, Johnny. Good to see you. Compliments of the season as well. So we're going to move on. I'm moving on to the next piece, right? I hope you have your pen and paper. And the name of the book again is, I'm going to put it up so you guys can see it. It's called The Healing Journey, right? Hold on one second. Let me take that off for a second. Oh, there we go. Let me go back to that real quick. Put that book up so you can see it. Here we go.
When we feel the exhilaration of a new relationship, we need to advance slowly, no matter how much we appear to have in common with the person. Speed, in and of itself, is exhilarating. Fast cars, roller coasters, airplanes, we love them, but they cannot survive a collision. Neither can fast relationships survive conflict. Relationships should not start with a destiny, such as marriage or a supporter of your healing journey. Go slow to allow the relationship to evolve or dissolve into an authentic rather than forced depth. Someone understanding us is not a willingness to rescue us. Someone making us feel special is not a commitment to love us. A declaration of love does not make someone responsible for our happiness. We have to assess the long-term offering of the relationship as we go. Assume that the exhilaration from the attention and care offered early in a relationship is the inner child being fed dessert. The inner child is the first to respond to the new and shiny. Let them have fun, but do not relinquish the adult responsibility of relationships to the inner child. The inner child is a flawed negotiator. In the best of relationships, needs are negotiated. Our responsibility is to live in the space of love by fully loving ourselves first. That way, when conflict arises within relationships, we don't respond out of fear that we are unlovable. We are enough because we are enough, not because someone loves us. Fear of abandonment may get triggered when relationships have conflict. Some people may throw a childish temper tantrum or lash out. Others may respond with childish humility that self-blames to please the other person. There is a better alternative. We can sit with the discomfort, the feeling of threat, the fear that we will never be enough for someone to love us. We can allow fear to become our entry into spiritual development, where we feel so loved by the universe that no void ever exists within us. We must hold space for our fears without following them into dark uncertainty. Relationships are not possessions. They are significant human experiences. When we learn to trust the experiences that we create, trusting people becomes less problematic. Empowering the inner child keeps us from responding to relationships with fear or becoming an emotional hostage. Empowering the inner child may require letting go of tradition, discovering our way, starting new trends, and adopting beliefs that support our well being. Staying small, quiet, or hidden to feel accepted as if we were children leads to a sense of victimization. We must keep reminding ourselves that we are no longer children. We are adults who can make responsible decisions and keep ourselves safe. Adults who grew up in dysfunctional environments may develop a high endurance for emotional pain, uncertainty, and mistrust.
That is a heavy one, a very heavy one. I had to stop it there because I need us to talk about that. All right. And Angela says, I thought I posted. Let's see. I am posting the link to come to the back end. I hope somebody comes because it'll be nice to have a chat, somebody else's voice on this thing, right? New comments. Let's see. All right. So the link is there if you'd like to join me. Angela says it's crazy. I wonder if the children will be able to adjust to challenges in their adult lives if everything is defined as trauma. Honey, I'm scared of what the world will look like in 10 years. Because really right now, especially the United States, in my opinion, is like trauma has been commercialized. You have all these people trying to help you get over trauma. Everybody's a coach and everybody's a guru and everybody's a mentor. I had to ask somebody the other day, I'm like, wait, did the meaning of mentor change or is it me? Right? I still need the phone. The the meaning of mentor, did it change? Mentorship is free. Coaching is like you pay. But you go to Clubhouse, everybody's a mentor, everybody's a coach, and the bloviating is ridiculous. I just keep quiet these days. I go to my clubs and I do my thing. I'm all about empowerment and self-actualization. And even when I bring that to the table, I get slaughtered. That's like, whoa, I get it. You don't want people to heal so you can continue to make money. The world is going to be so jacked up. Nothing is the same. Everything is changing. 65 different types of sexualities in the world. I was like, I went searching for sexuality. I found food sexual. Food sexual. That's a sexuality. There's so much stuff going on that I just want to scream, but I can't. Because if you say anything, then they'll say, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, you're food phobic, you're everything is a phobia. Why can't we just agree to disagree? Why can't we just have different opinions? Why can't we just have different opinions? It's okay. I am a homosexual. My daughter is a heterosexual. We're cool like that. I eat sushi. So my son doesn't eat sushi. And we still should be able to. But people want to fight about everything in the world these days because the powers that be are making money off of this thing. So this is why the healing journey for me is big. I am going to be introducing this to as little people that want it. And hopefully, because if I was talking about garbage, if I was talking about sex, if I was talking about sex, or I was talking about people fighting or gossip, or this place will be. Remember, I used to do those crazy shows. I would have 2,000-3,000 people. So now, if I get 200 people to stream this thing, it's huge. But it's quality over quantity for me now. Because if we start to heal each other, then hopefully, right? Hopefully, we'll be able to pass it on to other people. Because people are so broken these days. People don't have grit, man. I used to fetch water in Nigeria to take a bath when I went to school. My son wouldn't even get up to go eat. in his dormitory. He orders food to the door after we have paid. And if you say anything, oh, I'm traumatized. Everything is trauma these days. It's like, honey, there's a couple of pow pow that I should have given you to reset your brain, but we can't do that because we're in America. We can't. We can't even yell at the kids anymore, Angela. But I think, I really believe that if we all start to heal and we pass it on, the information down to the next person around us, and they heal, hopefully the whole world, well, not the whole world, the people that want to do the work or are willing to do the work will get there. Right? So here we go. We're going to the next phase, right? If you guys want to come into the studio with me, please understand that you are more than welcome to come in. But do Moji a favor, share the video, not so for viewerships, because I don't care. I don't make money off of these things. But I think the more people that watch the video, the better off we'll be. All right? So here we go.
Childhood experiences includes having a household member with mental illness, criminal, or adult relationships end before they begin. Trusting ourselves allow us to make decisions about relationships based on who people are rather than who we want them to be. If everyone behaved as we thought they should, we would not need boundaries. We wouldn't have to choose who to share life with or how. The inner child is a flawed negotiator. In the best of relationships, needs are negotiated. Our responsibility is to live in the space of love by fully loving ourselves first. That way, when conflict arises within relationships, we don't respond out of fear that we are unlovable. We are enough because we are enough, not because someone loves us. Fear of abandonment may get triggered when relationships have conflict. Some people may throw a childish temper tantrum or lash out. Others may respond with childish humility that self-blames to please the other person. There is a better alternative. We can sit with the discomfort, the feeling of threat, the fear that we will never be enough for someone to love. We can allow fear to become our entry into spiritual development, where we feel so loved by the universe that no void ever exists within us. We must hold space for our fears without following them into dark uncertainty. Relationships are not possessions. They are significant human experiences. When we learn to trust the experiences that we create, trusting people becomes less problematic. Empowering the inner child keeps responding to relationships with fear or becoming an emotional hostage. Empowering the inner child may require letting go of tradition, discovering our way, starting new trends, and adopting beliefs that support our well-being. Staying small, quiet, or hidden to feel accepted as if we were children leads to a sense of victimization. We must keep reminding ourselves that we are no longer children. We are adults who can make responsible decisions and keep ourselves safe. Adults who grew up in dysfunctional environments may develop a high endurance for emotional pain, uncertainty, and mistrust. Instead of using pain as a signal to escape, pain may signal a survivor of childhood trauma to try harder. High pain tolerance often keeps people stuck in dysfunctional relationships that recreate their childhood circumstances. Often, people mistake their attachment to familiar pain for love. In truth, love teaches you to let go of everything so that it may teach you how to hold on to anything. The inner child must be reparented to love like an adult. The relationship that we develop with ourselves will guide the relationships that we create in the world. No person worthy of our love or friendship wants us to treat them better than we treat ourselves. Emotionally mature people don't invite others to love them who don't love themselves. So it is necessary to work on building trust with ourselves to attract healthy people into our lives. We can start with affirmations. Writing affirmations on random paper is like leaving ourselves love notes. It is also a good practice to say mantras when going to bed and when waking up. I am capable of making good decisions, and I will make good ones today. The favorite mantra of this year is I am enough. Mantras work when applied along with healthy behaviors. Show up for yourself, especially in the mirror. Research suggests that observing our mirror image increases moral behavior. I imagine it goes for trusting ourselves as well. If we avoid looking at ourselves, we can't expect anyone else to respond to us any better than we respond to ourselves. If we cannot trust ourselves in the mirror, we aren't trusting our relationship with ourselves. Confidence is built when we invest in ourselves by developing a skill that we are better at than most people. Becoming an expert builds internal trust. Developing expertise requires an investment of personal time as well as confidence. If we cannot identify something that we are better at than the average person, we should find something that interests us and commit ourselves to work to be better at it. When we build a relationship with someone, whether they're a friend, coworker, or lover, we must work on not getting caught up in just our feelings. We should evaluate the person's lifestyle early on to assess if it is compatible with ours. Remembering that trauma is not a compatibility trait. Building relationships from shared victims are initially affirming, but frequently open to relationships with people from different demographic backgrounds than us.
All right. So I want to talk about this little piece right here, right? And it's important that we talk about this piece. I'll tell you why. I talk a lot about Mojikwa. For those of you guys that have my page, Mojikwa is the one that comes out and says this smart, crazy thing. And Mojikwa will say whatever she wants to say and she doesn't care. Thank you, Angela. And she'll tell you to your face, whatever. Moji, on the other hand, is kind of reserved and nice and sweet. And Mojikwa will say whatever she wants to say. That's the 9-year-old child in me, right? A lot of things happened when I was 9 years old that broke. I became fragmented, in my opinion. But we won't go into that today. I also grew up in a family of 12 stepmothers and 20-something children. So I never felt, and my mother left when I was 1, so I never felt like I really belonged anywhere. And I had a fear of abandonment because the women would go and come, one would go and another one would come, or three. It was chaotic in my house. I hated Christmas. I still do. But I hated Christmas because my inner child did not feel safe or accepted or felt like I belonged in that family, right? So I grew up I was a model because I wanted to be seen. I was very good at it because I had to feed that monster, right? I'm at the point in my life where now when I'm uncomfortable about something or with something, I need time to sit down and really think it through and say, hey, why is this bothering me so much, right? And in the book, she says, you need to sit with the discomfort. A lot of times people are not sitting in their discomfort. If something doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. And there's no excuse for it. You don't need to make any excuses for anybody. If it doesn't feel right, stand still for a moment and allow yourself to understand why it doesn't feel right for you. right? It's really cool. I hope you're enjoying this book. So Angela added, lifestyle compatibility means that being on the same financial level, its moral, ethics, principle for living it shuku to you. So now, Angela, think about this. So I'd been on a journey to self for about 15 years or 10 years or something, right? Then around 2012, I started to say, I, Moji, want a woman that's Nigerian, very specific, right? It's not because I'm racist. It's just I never did. I wanted a Nigerian woman. For whatever reason, I just wanted that homey feeling. Get gone. I made pepper soup, best meal, in my opinion, Nigerian food, but with the fish. And in Nigeria, the fish head goes in the bowl. And my friend literally threw up because the fish was in the bowl. I was done. So I wanted I kept saying I wanted a Nigerian woman. I wanted somebody that had integrity. And this was 2012. And I would say it on almost every show. I wanted somebody that had integrity, somebody that had, that was spiritual and yada, yada, yada. And Lord and behold, I met my wife doing this show right here almost 6 years ago. Can you imagine? I mean, that is so awesome. You have to know what you want from life. You have to be able to put it out there into the universe. And when we talk about self-love, for me, the connection came when I realized that God, and I'm not talking about the Christian God or the Muslim God or any God, the I am that I am, loved me enough to create me in his own image. The day that connection was made, that's when I became fearless. That's when I say whatever I want to say within reason, because we have to have emotional intelligence, right? But I do whatever I want to do within reason, as long as I'm not hurting anybody. And I stand on integrity and principles. And because I've managed to do that, the universe has my universe has opened up. This is why I talk about getting to the promised land a lot, because people don't understand how important it is to know yourself, how important it is to know what you want, how important it is to allow, I don't know what you call it. I call God. I don't even know if it's a man or a woman. So I say he, she, language. I have felt God. I have seen God. Every time I look at really, I do. Every time I look at people like Angela and Olu Fisola and Johnny and all of you guys, I see God. Because there's a bit of God in each and every one of you. But we've been taught that we have no power. I now know how powerful I am, because anything I want, there's nothing I ever want that I don't get. I might not get it right there and then, no, but I get it. There's nothing I want I don't get. And I'm sure you guys can say the same. It's just a matter of understanding that prayers without work is nothing. And sometimes you don't get what you want right there and then because of the fact that it's not the right time. But you will get it. So when Dr. Bakari talked about working with the inner child, making sure that the inner child nobody heals. I don't believe, that's the only piece where I disagree with her, because I don't think anybody ever heals. What we do is learn to manage. Because people are always talking about, oh, you got to forgive. Oh, no. I don't think you need to forgive anybody. It's good if you do, because it lightens your load. But at least acknowledge that stuff happened to you. Half of the time, as Black women, as Black men, and African people, we've been taught, shh, don't tell anybody you were raped. Shh, don't tell anybody this. Shh, don't tell anybody that. In my country, Nigeria, if you're going to Sokoto, they'll tell you to tell people you're going to Kaduna, so the witches don't get you. So there's a lot of cultural issues with the way a lot of us were raised. And that's why it's so very important, right? That we go back and check ourselves. And then it says, love, the best line. It said, love teaches you to let go of everything. Chai! I am telling you, when you love yourself, and I struggle some days, I'm not going to lie to you. You guys know, I don't BS anybody. Some days I struggle. I struggle with imposter syndrome because I've been told all my life, you're gay. If gay people are going to hell, gay people are abomination, gay people are this, gay people. And then I was a minister. I am a minister. I went to church for 15 years. And every day, every Sunday, they will preach about gay people going to hell. So my programming, I had to unlearn a lot of things and relearn the fact that I am love. I am loved. That's why I do my affirmations on Facebook. Sometimes I'll just post booga, my affirmations for the day. And I meditate and I pray and I exercise because it gives me endorphins. You have to find what makes you feel whole, loved. And it's okay when you backslide. Do it. Nobody is ever cured, though. We just learn how to manage it. That's why I say every woman is crazy. You just have to find the one who's crazy you can live with, right? She says, Dr. Bakari said, love teaches you to let go of everything. When you get to that point where you don't give a horse's bleep what Shukra thinks about you or what Jane thinks about you or what John thinks about you, that is the ultimate in power. It took me 4 years to get here, where I actually say no to people. I felt I had to do for everybody. I had to give my money away. If anybody came to me, even if I didn't have it, I'll go sell something. That's how bad I was. And I realized that it's a lack. And sometimes it's even an ego thing. That's how Nigeria became a beggar's country. Moscato, baby. Because people come to America, they want to show off that they're now in America. And they'll be sending big money to Nigeria because it's 501. Just so they can feel like they're somebody or they feel good because that self-love is not there. Honey, this is the first year that I'm not doing crazy things because I am comfortable in my skin. And if I have to buy your love, honey, then it's not really love. If I have to buy your friendship, if I have to give you money to be my friend, then we're not really friends, right? We're not. So bottom line is, at the end of the day, yeah, you have to learn to manage things, Angela, because nobody's ever truly really cured. I mean, because I say that because the moment I think I'm cool and everything is fine, I trip over something else. It's like peeling the onion. You just keep taking layers off and layers off. There's always something. And life is never the same. It's up and down. There's always life lessons to learn. See, once you pass this class and you're coming up for breath, the universe throws something else in your path so you can show that what you learned, you can use it in real life. Isn't that amazing? I just love it. Anyway, so let's keep going.
Our ideal friendship might be with someone 20 years younger or older than us. Our intimate companion may be a different race than us. Our most supportive coworker might be a different gender orientation than we are. The most compatible person may be the one we least suspect. Make sure you explore their perspective of the world, not just invite them into yours. Remember that relationships are a reflection of how we see ourselves. How we see ourselves should evolve. If we trust the process, we will not try to hold on to everyone who offers us a pillow to rest our heart or a piece of bread to feed our soul. They may not be meant to travel with us. So the only way for us to keep them is to stop moving on our journey. Room must be left to invite people into our lives and for them to go. Also, we have to give ourselves permission to leave. Fulfilling relationships reflect how we have shown up in our lives. Painful relationships expose our need to show up in our lives. Every relationship is ultimately just a relationship with ourselves.
All righty then. So, fulfilling relationships. I laugh a lot these days because when I think about where I'm coming, where I came from, and where I am today, I'm just so blown away. I'm so grateful to God because I'm telling you, what a journey! What a journey to go from trying to commit suicide 3 times to actually becoming a certified life coach to becoming an inclusion and diversity specialist. It's just, and to owning Solar Wilson Village with my wife when I was in the closet for almost 40 years. It's just, for me, I'm just blown away. And when she said every relationship is just a relationship with herself, I totally get it. I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get it. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, allegedly we resonate frequencies, and the frequencies is what attracts these people. So whatever your frequency is, attracts these people. But your power of discernment grants you the grace to be able to decide who do you want to be with? Who do you want in your circle? And everything that looks good is not always good, right? Things get sugar coated, things get processed, to make them look delicious. And then gold, sometimes when you see a knight in shining armor, it's just tin foil. But I'm like, look, when we heal that piece of us that's broken, we're able to love ourselves. We're able to see ourselves. And when we are walking in authenticity, that's the only time we attract the right people. When you're pretending to be something else, then you're attracting the things. When you're your authentic self and you stand proudly in whatever skin color you are, whatever sexuality you are, whatever culture you are, whatever nationality you attract people that are attracted to your core and not attract people that are attracted to the fake person that you're pretending to be. I am the first one to admit, yeah, I know what that means. And let me tell you, it was the most painful thing I had to do. I hated myself. This has nothing to do with how much money you have. It has nothing to do with how many friends you have. It has to do a lot to do with how you feel about yourself. Are you worthy of friendship? Are you worthy of people respecting you? Now, that right there is the question I want you guys to go home and think about, because at the end of the day, the journey to self depends on your vulnerability. The journey to self depends on how much you are willing to do the work. The name of the book that we've been talking about for the past hour is called The Journey to the Healing Journey. This segment of authentic conversation is called The Journey to Self. And we're going to go through a lot of books, the law of attraction, this. I'm tired of doing all these buzz, all these gossip station shows, and it doesn't feed my soul. That's why I stopped doing the show for a while. Because it's like I'm on a different level now. When I started, I was like down here spiritually and emotionally. And as I grew, you can't expect me to be the same person I was in 2009. So if you're looking for somebody to do the buzz bass, you're going to have to go someplace else. But if you want to get empowered, if you want to get, a roadmap to your promised land, I'm here. So the truth, my life. I love myself. I love my friends. I'm in love with my wife. And I can only do that. I could only get there by healing the fragmented pieces of me. And by having the courage to stand up and say, hey, my name is Moji. And this is who I am. I'm a lesbian. I'm a single parent in those days. I'm a single parent of 4. I filed bankruptcy. I was very rich and I lost everything. To get my freedom, I gave 7 houses to my ex-husband. My ex-husband owes me 95,000. but I am free. I have an amazing wife that loves me to death. I have a wife that doesn't BS me, that tells me the truth. She doesn't pander. Everything I thought I wanted, everything I requested from the universe, that I became myself. I fixed my integrity. I fixed my moral compass. And it was very hard. I lost a lot of friends when I came out. You could be straight, but there's a closet that you're hiding in. You could be whatever you are. We all have something that we're hiding from the world that's holding us back from being the best version of ourselves. A lot of people were raped in Nigeria or across the globe. Women have been raped. But because they chose to stay in denial, they cannot heal. So whatever closet you're hiding in, you need to come out of it. And this has nothing to do with sexuality. It has nothing to do with gender. And if that's what your problem is, shuku to you if you step out of the closet. But when I say step out of the closet, I'm not saying go and blast it all over social media. No. Stand in the mirror and own who you are. Have the confidence that you are enough. Because we go through whatever it is that we go through, right? Whatever I went through is what got me to this point where I'm able to sit here and talk to you guys and share my experiences and ask that we all grow together. Made mistakes. You're not your mistake. I'm not my mistake. The key thing is to own our mistakes and learn from it. That's it. Learn to love yourself. Where you are, how, and who you are. Johnny Omoworora says, this past July, I had a conversation with my family about myself, how I myself. If you hate yourself, you're living a reckless life. Oh, child, shuku to you. You probably should work on you a little, life coping tools before investing in someone else's. It's also lined with shame. Of course it is. It sets you up to ring a high bell that's unattainable because loving yourself doesn't come with a certificate or a finish line. It's a lifelong process. It's not a class. It's a concept. Shuku to you, Johnny. Now, this is growth. My God. That to me, I've known journey now, what? 6-7 years. That right there is huge growth. We've been doing this thing together. It started off at breakfast emoji, 7 a.m. in the morning. I'll go to the gym and we'll talk. Then it went to Moji's World or something like that. Then I realized I can have my own world, but everybody should have theirs too. Then I did a journey, the year of truth in 2018. Oh my God, that was the most horrible year for me. No, 2017. That was like crazy because you know what? When you start to live in truth, there's some truths that you don't really want to see, but you have to see it and they're painful. But it elevated me. I was dragged across the globe when I got married. Elevated me. Death threats, all that stuff, elevated me. While they were shouting my name, the people that never heard my name before actually heard it. And they came to find out who I am. I sold more houses. It elevated me. A lot of times when we go through hardships and as we're peeling the layers of the onions, you might feel isolated, you might feel alone, you might cry. But let me tell you, after the rain comes the rainbow. I am 57. I'm living the best life that I can live in this moment. And I continue to do work on me so that I can stay. I don't even know where my promised land. Talk about the promised land. I don't know where because somebody asked me today, do you feel like you're in your promised land? And I was like, no. I see bigger and better things coming. And it's like, well, I did a podcast this morning. The guy goes, you're 57. How much more? I'm like, people are living to be 90. I'm only 57. Don't rush me. So we're all growing together. We're all on a journey to self. The name of the book is The Healing Journey. and it's by Dr. Bakari. I really, really, I'm telling you, this is a very good book. After this book, we're going to do the law of attraction, and I'm going to try and get people to come in on stage and co-host with me. I don't know. Because I'm gay, a lot of Nigerians wouldn't do this because they don't want people to think they're gay, kind of thing. But it doesn't make sense. It's like, are you guys retarded or what? I mean, who cares if you're straight or gay? But what I'll do is I'll get a few of my friends that are like therapists and things like that to come on. And when we do the law of attraction, right? Yeah, we're going to do the law of attraction. I think I'm going to do the Abraham Hicks one, because that for me is the one I used and I loved it. It's the one I read it every year, even though I read it many, like 10, 15 years ago, but I continue to read it every year. It's something, it's like, you run out of gas sometimes. And that's why, by the way, it's very important. I'm telling you, the people you surround yourself with, very important. I'm very careful who I let on my Facebook page, who I follow anywhere. I'm very careful who I even mingle with, aside of COVID. COVID kind of helped us all put things into perspective, didn't it? Because now we're not just hanging out with every Tom, Dick, and Jones, but we're very, very selective. And that's the way life should really be. And I think that's one of the reasons why the universe sent this thing, so we can reset. So we can reset. The healing journey is not easy. But like everything, the more you exercise those muscles, the better you become. And it's a lifelong journey. After we have 2 more excerpts, it's going to be 2 more weeks of this. I said 4 o'clock because I just think 4 o'clock is a better time. I will do it later. I might even do it later because it seems like it's only 3 of us. So I might start doing this thing a little bit later in the day. It's just that I wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning because I do international business. Like 7, 8 o'clock, I'm exhausted. So I'll see what happens. But the truth is, when we start the journey to self, it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel crazy. When you guys pick up the book, inbox me and let me know you got the book. And I'll try and create a WhatsApp chat that we can talk about the book and whatever books we're reading. I think this journey is going to be amazing. It's going to improve your personal life, your romantic life. It's going to improve your business as well. Because when you love you, honey, I promise the sky's the limit. My name is Mojisola Wilson. So grateful that you guys are here with me. And I hope you share the video so that other people can see it. We are absolutely running a little bit over time, so forgive me. But it's been I hope you enjoyed the show. Are we doing specific activities? Thank you. So yes, let's start today, because I started today. Today, I want you to type 3 things that you're grateful for. Just 3. For me, I'll tell you what I'm grateful for. Today, we're going to start every morning when you wake up, before you brush your teeth, before you do anything else, before you say good morning to your husband, wife, husband, whatever. Just say 3 things you're grateful for. The reason I went back to the gratitude thing, because the gratitude thing is what made me not, commit suicide when I was going through my job moment. Because, for instance, I was really comfortable, and then the real estate market crashed and I lost everything. I was going through a divorce and everything at the same time. So I sold my Mercedes-Benz and my Land Cruiser, and I bought a bicycle and rode a bicycle for 1 whole year. But the way I made it through that hard year with a smile on my face, I posted pictures, videos on Facebook while going through all of this. If you've been on my page long enough, you know what I'm talking about. The way I made it through those days was to wake up in the morning, and whatever it is, I don't care if I lost a deal and a mortgage bank closed and a house is foreclosed on, I would wake up and say, I have a bicycle. I'm grateful because I have a bicycle. I'm grateful because of the bicycle, I'm actually in shape. I don't have to pay for gas. I'm grateful. Just maybe 10, 15 things. And by then, the endorphins, my brain cells are like ready to go. Let's go do this. I sold $1 million houses on my bicycle. It's a mindset. It's how you see things. The world is very crazy. And let me, if you, for those of you guys that are my friend list, you already know, I've been going through a lot in the past 2-3 years. And it's all family background oriented things. But I decided a week ago that I will no longer allow people to yank my chains. Not my children, not my biological mother. Nobody is going to be yanking my chains. I, Moji, choose to live a joyful life. And anybody that does not want to get with the program, Ali Mongo, you can go be miserable by yourself. I'm not doing it. I'm so not doing it. So the exercise till next Thursday is every day when you wake up, say something, 3 things that you're grateful for. Maybe 2, maybe 10, maybe 50. Just anything. Like I woke up this morning, my hair is like starting here, but I'm grateful I could buy my weave. It sounds silly, but let me tell you, when you start being grateful, you don't need to go and buy that crazy whatever it is to make you to fill the hole. When you start being grateful, it changes your mindset to, and then you see more opportunities. But when all you see is negativity, especially coming from Nigeria, where women are raped and killed, and you know your boss, you can't trust anybody in Nigeria because they'll sell you. You got to be grateful. I'm grateful I'm Nigerian. I'm grateful Nigeria is crazy, but there's still a few nice people there. I'm grateful that it's cold outside. At least my skin is not, I won't get skin cancer. I mean, there's something to be grateful for. I'm grateful that I have name it. You know, it's cold, but I can't swim, but I'm grateful I have a pool. There's always something to be grateful for. So let's start. I like that, Angela. Let's start with the activities and start with gratitude. Gratitude. When you post your gratitude post, tag me with it, right? Post your gratitude post, tag Moji with it. Just tag me so I can come there and applaud. We're going to do this together. We're going to have an amazing 2022. After we do this, after we do the healing on the journey to health is a process, but we have to heal first. And then we're going to go into action. We're going to go into how to attract what we want. Then we're going to go into real estate. We're going to go into money management. We're going to go into millionaire next door. How to become a millionaire without making $1 million. I just read this book. I've been reading this book called The Millionaire Next Door. Do you know people that make $50,000 a year can become a millionaire in like 5 years? Honey, they don't teach you that in high school, do they? They don't even teach it in college. They don't. So if we don't start to empower ourselves, we'll continue to have, I don't care if you're white, black, green, we'll continue to have the slave mentality because it's a mindset, right? You have to start this section on Saturdays. I like that. So if you want me to do this on Saturdays, there's only 3 of you guys there. Just say yes. And then we'll do it Saturdays at 10. Say yes to Saturday. Should we do this on Saturdays? Please say yes or no. And then I actually like the thing on Saturdays. Yeah, because then I can have people come up on stage because half of you are at work, right? I like the Saturday concept, really. Saturdays. No, 10 a.m., honey. I'm 57. I'm in bed by 10. 10 a.m. Oh, is that too early? You can buy the book from Amazon. You can buy the book from, let me put the book back up. You can buy the book from Amazon. You can get it from everywhere they sell books. Go to Amazon, Kindle, all of them, they're there. It's called The Healing Journey. She doesn't have an audio book, but she has the e-version of it. You must buy that book. You must read the book. It's really an awesome book. Are we doing Saturdays? That's the book. The blue book right there. That's the book. It's by Rosena Bakari. So are we doing Saturdays, guys? Is that what we're doing? So yeah. Who said 11? That is 11 for me. Yes, that's it. So Saturdays, we're going to start meeting. We'll start this Saturday. Yeah, we'll do it this Saturday. We'll start this Saturday. We'll go to the next version. And then I can do my goose bass on Wednesdays at 10. We'll move this to Saturdays and do the other one. The regular thing that I do. Have fun. As a certified life coach. So Saturdays, we're going to do it at 10. And that's 10 a.m. Central. And that's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern. And it's going to be 5 p.m. West African time. I like that. Wonderful, guys. So we've had a great conversation. Please make sure you have this conversation with your partners, with your children, with your lovers, with your friends. And invite somebody to join us on Saturday at 10. I've been on Facebook for a while. I'm building an African village on a 40-acre ranch that my wife and I bought, so forgive me. But we're going to build the audience back. We're going to build the community back so that we can start to heal. My name is Mojisola Wilson. I am so grateful that you guys chose to join me today. It's been an amazing journey. And I know that if we all share our wisdom or our knowledge with somebody else, there will be less hate, there will be less intolerance, there will be diversity and inclusion, because there's really no diversity if there's no inclusion, and there's no inclusion if there's diversity. Actually, there can be diversity. You can have a bunch of people in the room, but people's marginalized voices are not heard. Hurt people hurt people. Let's all make it a mission so that we can create a better world for the next generation. My name is Mojisola Wilson. I am so grateful that you joined me. Time is the most precious thing we all have. I'll see you guys Saturday, 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and WAT, West African Time, is allegedly 5 p.m. I don't know if it is, but I hope it is. May tomorrow be a lot better than today. May our today be filled with blessings and grace. Let's continue to have authentic conversations so we can have authentic transformations. Namaste.